Hello, Leo friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Leo June 2024 astrology horoscope forecast. This is for you if Leo is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Leo placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Leo friend, so birthdays around August 15th through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Virgo report, as you very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. I'm calling the theme of this month for Leo, Hurry Up, Your Tribe Needs You. And I'll go into details about that, as well as so many other things that are very difficult to encapsulate in one title. We've got lots going on this month, and I'm going to tell you what you need to know to make the most of it. So the first thing, let's just start to talk about your tribe and your community and the group and the people that need you, and we'll just get kicked off with that. So there are areas of the chart called houses. If you ever see a chart, which I will pop in periodically, and for you podcast friends, I'll put it as the thumbnail. The things that look like pie pieces are houses. The houses are fields of experience that we have as humans. And everybody has these experiences. Some have more, some have less, some have, complexities within it more than others. But these are the things that we more or less deal with as humans. So when planets move into and gather in a house, that brings that energy front and center for us. That is like, okay, this is what's really going on right now. And so Jupiter from May 2024 through June 2025, so there's a long-term element here. In the short term, we've got the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the new moon on June 6th at 16 degrees of Gemini, all in the 11th house, okay? So what does that mean? That means that your community needs you. Your tribe needs you. This is the area of communities and tribes and groups and anything having to do with a bunch of people coming together, large organizations, someplace where they're the group and the good for all is kind of the focus. And it's a place where it could be something like a sports team enthusiast group, or it can be a serious, non-profit project group, or it can be, a Saturday backgammon group, or anything. It can be anything. But what's happening now is this is getting lit up for you like the 4th of July, and it looks like people need you. They need your Leo fabulousness, they need your fire, they need your gifts, they need your creative expression to come into this group, possibly take a leadership role, possibly just kind of bring some life and some light and some fun. You may not know this, but Leo rules the 5th house of the chart, and the 5th house, and Leo is also ruled by the sun, and the 5th house of the chart is the house of fun. Well, you can have fun in any of the houses, but just the energy of fun, unbridled fun, for no reason at all, for itself, just for the sake of itself, is actually under the domain of Leo. So that's pretty cool. So it's possible that you need to just bring more fun. Now, I've had a lot of Leo friends in my time because I have a lot of fire in my chart. I have Aries rising and I have a ton of Sagittarius, so I tend to attract fire people to me. And and there's never been a time that I've been with Leo friends that it hasn't been fun. That is for sure. So it's possible that these groups, these social circles, they need your fun, they need your light. Not everybody likes to be looked at and have the attention on them. And maybe you're a Leo that doesn't. Of course, there are always exceptions. But for the most part, the Leos love attention and they love to be in the center of attention and people love to look at them, right? So this is, I'm on camera. I don't want to be on camera most of the time. Honestly, I'd rather give the information verbally. I like sharing. The information is what's important to me. But, whatever, this is the situation that I'm in. There are people that want to be seen. And there are situations where people enjoy seeing people, and just having everything be so virtual. There's, a level of connectivity, which is part of why I'm here on screen here, is to help connect us better, because sometimes when you see somebody, you can connect better and you can experience the information more. But the bottom line is that there are people that need to see you. There are people that need to be seen by you. There are people who, need to be brightened up by your fun. There are people that need your creative spirit, and your tribe and your group and all of this, they need you. And this is being shown by this very full 11th house of these groups. Okay, so you've got all of these opportunities to plant seeds, expand your social circles. You can enhance your communication. This is the house of friendships. This is a house of acquaintances. This is a house of networking. So June is going to be amazing for all of this. You can definitely increase your involvement with community affairs, whether it's your neighborhood or whether it's an online community. anything having to do with gaining knowledge through groups, so taking a course and being part of like a forum or a group, or you leading it. The energy of Leo sometimes will come into this because there are opposing signs, and the opposing signs kind of feed into and work with each other, and the opposing sign to Leo is Aquarius, and Aquarius rules this 11th house. So the Aquarius energy is kind of like all for one and one for all, and we're doing this together. And, kind of like we are united in this mission of these things that we believe, or these things that we do, or these things that we like. And the Leo element is the individual energy. It's like, okay, I'm an individual that has all this stuff going on that also likes doing this. So it's like it brings in this individual zest. There's also some element of technological advancement that is, or technological processes that is getting lit up for you this month. So you might need a new device, you might need some help with working out something, technologically, or you may be, if you're a techie, you may be able to help people in that arena. But regardless, it's really, 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 really lighting up for you, not just in the short term, but in the long term, because Jupiter's there for a year. I do have a separate Jupiter in Gemini for Leo report that will give you more information on that. You can search for it anywhere. You can just put Annie Botticelli Jupiter in Gemini for Leo. You can go to my YouTube homepage. You can search through my podcast. You can go to my player list, anniehelpsyou.com/astrology, so you can get at that. So we're not going to belabor this, but it is very exciting. Also very exciting about this is that all of the air signs make good angles for fire signs. Even the ones that are in opposition. We're not having that discussion now because Gemini makes a 60-degree angle for you. So all of these things, the new moon, Mercury, Venus, the sun, Jupiter, they're all going to make this beautiful configuration with Leo that's full of opportunities that often have to be recognized and something be done with them in order for them to be most capitalized on. So be looking out for the opportunities, and a lot of those opportunities are going to come through networking and through other people, and you may be showing up to get some help for something in a group, and you might wind up helping other people, or you may show up to help other people and you might wind up getting your thing solved. So it's good. It's very good. It's not the time to try to avoid people unless you feel intuitively guided to do that. It's not the time to try to get out of not gathering. It's not generally the time to say no, again, unless you're intuitively inclined for some reason. But this is a time for you to be circulating. It's a time for you to be out there. It's a time for you to be connecting with people. You will gain opportunities from this, and it's exciting. Now, one of the other things that's great about this is that any of the contacts that you make in this time, if it's a new person, this could be a very, very long-term contact. And this is a great time for dating, by the way. And the technological aspect could feed into online dating, or someone, a friend, acquaintance wants to introduce you to someone. This could be a time where a person of consequence comes into your world. And we know, which is I've been talking about this for a while, I'm going to be talking about this for 20 more years, Pluto in your 7th house, as it is now, is bringing these fated relationships to you. Pluto is going to be doing this for decades. Those of you who are in the earlier section of Leo, so July-born Leos, especially 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, days around there, you all are really, really, really exponentially, being affected by Pluto. But all of you have this chance to have people where you meet them and you're like, wow, gosh, we were really, really, really meant to meet. And this could be one of those months where one of those people comes in, because you've got the long-term story of Pluto doing this and you've got the short-term networking. So anything that you want to do. Now, as these Gemini planets move, first of all, we have to remember it's in an upward spiral. So an upward spiral means I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here, but I'm bringing things upward as I'm doing it, right? So maybe you learn to play the guitar and then you don't look at the guitar for a while. Oh, and now you pick the guitar up again. But every time you're learning a little bit more and you're kind of bringing it up. That's the energy of Gemini. It's an upward spiral. It is dizzying. You will be all over the place. You will be interacting with a lot of people, communicating, traveling near and far for sure. And this is actually an amazing time. If you need to buy something technological, you need to buy a device, you need to buy a car or a vehicle of some sort, a way of mobility. This month, between May 14th and July 16th, really, but the whole month of June, is free from personal planet shadow periods and retrogrades, which means that it's much easier to make commitments to a purchase. It's much easier to get what you're hoping to get, and that there's less fine print that you miss, and then it changes things a few months down the road. There's more certainty, and you can get involved in things that, like I said, could be very long term. All of these Gemini placements will also make the 60-degree angle for a point in your chart that speaks to your like how you put yourself out there in the world. So you could be undergoing a radical transformation. The Aries Libra eclipse cycle is helping with that. And although now in June, we are kind of at rest for integration time. So March, April, May was very much the heat of eclipse season. Now we're just like, okay, we're integrating June, July into August before we have the next round. Aries and Libra energies are a good angle for Leo placements, but you're more than just your Leo placement. So, there's a very good chance that nice things came in for you from those eclipses and that you're working a very positive, evolution with those. But if it's hitting one of your other placements, you could be that aren't in a great angle, you could have had a very difficult time in recent months. So that's something else to celebrate at this time. It's like, okay, the intensity is off, get a little social, do the things that you want to do. And this can include updating your look. This is a fantastic time to buy a wardrobe. If you have the money to do it, it's a fantastic time to, do anything to enhance, get products or different kinds of things for your physical appearance. It's a fantastic time to do stuff for your health and, get kind of in touch and more comfortable with your body. Okay, so the next thing to be aware of is as the planets move through Gemini, the Sun, Venus, and Mercury, they will get into Cancer. So the month will change, as the month goes on, it will go from the spinning, vibrant, all of these nice angles to now Cancer. Now it's like, okay, now we're getting settled a little more. Now, there's stuff about family. This is moving into your 12th house. This is like quiet, sacred space to rest. This is working on a project in the backdrop. This is working in your emotional inner world rather than everything being so extroverted. So you will have a counterbalance. If you're getting spun out, don't worry, the energy will change as the month goes on, and you will notice the change the more you're paying attention. You will watch it kind of like, dive deep into this very quiet, spiritual, inner series of time. And this can be very, very, very good for creative expression. All of it's good for prolific expression, but there's something specific about the Cancer energies because they crowd your 12th house of your quiet inner realm, where you really just might want to pull in. And it might be good to schedule some time just yourself if you're an artist in any way or you create things, in your studio, just to kind of schedule that time as the month progresses and into July. Okay, so we talked about the new moon. Let's talk about the full moon. The full moon is in the days around June 21st. So the days leading up to that day could be, all of these dates I give you can be different depending on your time zone, of course, but it'll be close to there. And so there's fruition, completion, drama, elucidation, things coming to a head, things coming to life, things manifesting in a big way along the lines of Capricorn, which rules work and career and employment and father figures and authority figures, you as you being an authority figure, you in a leadership position, anything like that. And specifically, this will light up your 6th house. So your 6th house has to do with health. So there could be something that was undercover with your health that comes out in a big way, or it could be that you come up with a solution for a health issue that you've had, or a resource comes in that really helps you. It could be that you have a revelation about something that you need to do different about your self-care regimen. And this is a really good time to make a commitment, like a 30-day challenge, to commit to something. 30-day challenges tend to work well. Most people don't say that the reason why 30-day challenges tend to work well is because they encompass a moon cycle. Whenever you cover and do everything within a moon cycle, there's a layer of alignment that goes on with your rhythm, where it gets worked into your psyche. So studies have shown that it takes between 21 and 27 days to make a habit. And this is, through the completion of a moon cycle. So, so that's why that number is significant. So it doesn't even have to be a full 30 days. It just sounds good. It can be a moon cycle, commitment. But whatever it is, something with your health can come up and you can take an opportunity, like you do a 30-day trial period at a gym, or you do a 30-day series of sessions with somebody helping you, or a 30-day course of, something that someone prescribes you or whatever. Okay, so make sure to do all of your big launches, your major decisions, having your clarity for present and future planning, engagements, weddings, anything having to do with commitments or contracts, big purchases, big sales. You'll have easier energy between the middle of May and the middle of July for that than you will for the second half. Now, don't worry if you have something important scheduled. Fate has a way of working things out the way they're supposed to be. So, and there can be much magic in all of these different times. But it is much easier to make commitments, to have plans that are important without the shadow or Mercury or Venus or Mars or whatever kind of going inward and backward, especially when you're trying to get things out and going, when the tides are going out. So this is really the last time we've really had the tides majorly going out. We'll be able to pop up for some air out of the retrograde energy in the second half, but really not very much, so even going into 2025, it's very inward and backward. So this period of time between the middle of May and the middle of July, you want to capitalize on that as much as possible. Okay, so let's talk about some more dates here. You want to do the one that's nasty first, and then we don't have to save it for last? Why don't we do that? Okay, so if you know my work, I'm an optimist, I'm a Sagittarius. I love to frame things in a way that even if something's challenging, we can make lemonade. But I always promise that if something is just straight up nasty, I'm just going to tell you that it is. I'll still try to reframe it to help you make the most of it, but I want you to be prepared and protected. So we have one of those aspects this month. We don't have them every month, which is great. June 11th, we've got Mars in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius. Mars, the ruler of war, Pluto, the ruler of death. Sometimes it's not literal, but just that really deep, dark shadow energy. It's coming in an awkward angle together, and it can be very, very nasty, explosive, volatile, dangerous, blow-ups, exaggerated responses. It's just not a time to mess around with something. It's not a time to do anything dangerous to excess. It's not a time to be reckless. So June 11th is when it's happening, but I'm going to give a solid week in either direction just because the energy is really strong. June 4th through June 18th. Things could happen before or after that window, but that's when really the bulk of it is, and the closer you are to the 11th, the more you'll feel that. So, just be careful. Get in a safe space if your situation is already volatile. Don't take any chances. Don't piss off somebody who's clearly, not doing well. If you're not doing well, get help with that so that you can, not erupt like a volcano. So the plus side to this and the way we can consciously use this energy is part of my mission to help you understand this beforehand, because when you feel it happening, sometimes it can be scary, like what's going on in the stars right now? Things are nuts and everybody's going crazy. So now ahead of time that that's what's going to happen. So when it's happening, you say, all right, Annie talked about this. This is, the window for manifestation for this. People are going to be a little edgy right now, extra aggressive, but it will pass. This too shall pass. But you can use it consciously. And that's one of my favorite things to do. It's like, okay, that's going to help you get deep and dark. What's better for that than like doing counseling or inner work or therapeutic healing, post-traumatic stress disorder work, trauma work of any kind? You can go into those deep, dark places actively with a qualified person to help you navigate through whatever may come up. And then you can use it for your good. You may also still have people, doing things that have these dangerous manifestations going on, but you can use it instead of just being like, well, it is a little bit of a hide under a rock thing. And in certain cases, if you can, excuse me, then just do that. Hide under a rock if things are getting too bad. But, you can actually use it actively. So if you need extra support, just have things in place at that time, So why don't we end off on, let me see if there's anything else. Oh, there are always other things, right? But there's one other thing before we get to my favorite, the favorite aspects. So Mars is still moving through the 9th house for a little bit longer. And it is maybe about 7 to 10 days. You'll be feeling the influence of the 9th house of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is your fellow fire sign. It's the bringer of expansion and luck, ruled by Jupiter, benevolence, broadening horizons, international culture and travel, and anything from having an international cuisine night to traveling to a different country. This energy is really well supported. Mars has been going through there in May into June, increasing your odds to, want to teach and learn and have international business and meet interesting people from different countries and, just really expand your horizons spiritually and in other ways. And now Mars is going to move into the 10th house. Mars is like a border collie. It's very obsessive. So wherever it goes, you tend to be obsessed. So you're going to have a couple of months of being obsessed basically with your work and your career. So if you are already a Leo that's focused on work and career, this is going to give you more drive, since a lot of this transit occurs when the stars are moving forward and the tides are going out. You can use this to either use the education aspect where you're learning something to be trained for a new vocation, or you're learning something to expand your current vocation. Raises, employment, different jobs, all of that has extra possibility now. And, Leos have been going through it with their work sector. There's been volatility there. Uranus has been there for a long time, making things come out of the blue, big endings, big beginnings, for an extended period of time. So there's that's going on in a long-term way. But with Mars here now, you can get a little bit more clear, a little bit more defined with what it is that you want to do. And you can always use the new moon and the days around June 6th to make those wishes for your new vocation, if that's what you want, or if you have certain goals within your job or work, you can wish for all of that. But either way, Mars is going to put your focus there on your place out in the world, whether it's paid or whether it's a passion project. Okay, so my favorite aspect of the month, and actually the biggest one, and it's quite long lasting, is on June 2nd, Jupiter in Gemini trine Pluto in Aquarius. These are two outer planets, so it really is the most powerful aspect of the whole month, even more than the nasty one we talked about, because that's a shorter term. That's a personal planet, Mars, with an outer planet. These are two outer planets. So it's very long standing. So I'm saying around May 19th through around June 20th, although you definitely can feel it and use it before and after then. That will be the time. And the closer you get to the second, the more intense. Jupiter expands, Gemini, all the stuff we talked about with Gemini, so much already, right? The social things, we don't need to belabor that. But the fact that Jupiter is in the 11th house doing all that work that we talked about, now Pluto will be there and they'll be trining it. It makes it even more likely that these, fated experiences or meeting people in a fated way can come in. Jupiter is also a very big seed planting energy. So if something big doesn't happen now, you may be planting a seed for something to happen in the future or to grow into the future. So be looking out for that. Communication gains a very major boost. You might be able to express your ideas more profoundly and prolifically at this time. People may be more receptive to what you have to say. It's an ideal time for self-reinvention and embracing your own way of doing things and, bringing that out more into the world. And it's just also in general, just a really positive, optimistic way of it basically does breadth because it's Jupiter, and it does depth because it's Pluto. So it's like it gets to the most positive, deepest things, while it gets to the most optimistic, broadest things combined together in the energy of air, which is in a good angle for you. So this will affect all Leos. Again, because Pluto and Jupiter are in early degrees right now, all Leos have an opportunity to use and experience everything that we talked about. So this whole report is for all Leos. There isn't anybody left out. But if you are in the beginning there, June 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, you will actually get extra kisses from this aspect. So that's exciting. But nobody's getting left out, so you don't have to worry about that. We've covered a lot about what's going on right now and in the upcoming times astrologically, but if you want even more free stuff from me, go to anniehelpsyou.com. That is my interface for all of my free goodies. And if you want to learn astrology, click on the up level button and you can find my astrology certification course. Even if you want to learn for your own personal purposes or to help your family and friends, I can help you to do that. If you want to earn money as an astrologer, I can help you to do that. Of course, like any other education, what you do with what I teach you is up to you, but I've had many people start earning money for doing astrology within even months of doing this course. And it's very rare that you can get trained in a vocation that literally you can pay your tuition off in 12 hours of work once you're trained. So it's a really, really wonderful course, and it just keeps growing. It has over 100 modules. It's very, very comprehensive, and you get lifetime access. If you want to access my secret star portal, you can click on the upgrade button at anniehelpsyou.com. You'll get all of my content very early. Plus, you'll get my written horoscopes early, plus a lot of other info. And if you haven't joined my free VIP community, you can click on the Unleash, or you can just put your name and email address there at anniehelpsyou.com. And you can sign up and get my sweet and salty dates right up 1 month early with lots of transits and other things for you to know. You can get my free goodies, a relax, unwind, and let go subliminal to help you stay calm during tough astrological transits. You can get my 28-day virtual coaching program for free. And I've also made a player page at anniehelpsyou.com/astrology, where you can see all of my podcasts and the playlists and my YouTube playlist all in one place that's constantly updated. If there is something that's time-stamped, the timestamp will be somewhere around. In eclipse seasons, you can click on the eclipse playlist and it will be always updated for which videos for you to watch to get you up to speed on how the eclipses may affect you, or just to understand what's going on even when we're out of eclipse season. So you can go to anniehelpsyou.com/astrology for one easy location for all of my content. I hope you have a wonderful time until I am with you again. Bye. Oh, and one last thing. If you're subscribed on YouTube, make sure you click the bell and subscribe to whatever podcast report, because I do post fairly regularly, and I've been told that if you subscribe on YouTube and you do not click the bell, you won't get my notifications and my very frequent posts. So make sure, if you're subscribed, click the bell. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, like, share, all of that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.